Seventh graders, happy Monday, May 18th. Want some good news? We're at the 1 month marker. That's right, a month from today will be June 18th, and it'll be the day before school ends. What? It's been the strangest year ever. Let's get started with what I got for you today. You can see our focus question is totally different. I wanted to continue on with Africa, but we got to move on. Given that there's only a month of school left, we're moving a lot slower than we would if we were in regular school. So I'm just going to cut our losses and we're going to move into a new region. We're going to spend the rest of this school year studying a region known as the Middle East, which I'll talk about later in this video. Your focus question for today and tomorrow are all about natural resources. In general, what makes a natural resource valuable? And then more specifically, which one is more valuable, oil or water? Let's get started with some announcements. First, we have a Google Meet tomorrow. It's an academic meet. It'll be at 1 p.m. and I'll post the link right beforehand. This Friday, we're going to do our second team lunch. Last Friday's team lunch was awesome. If you were able to attend, you already know that. If you didn't attend, consider attending this week. It's going to be at noon this week instead of 11:30, and I'll keep reminding you about it as we get closer to the date. Power School update. All I can do is say I'm sorry. I slowed down. I did not grade much this weekend. I blame the Nintendo Switch. But I will get on top of grading today, and you should see some new grades entered into Power School. Write a nasty letter to Nintendo because seriously, the products are addictive. It's ridiculous. And let's look at this picture of Rory real quick. Holy cow, he is the best dog in the world. I mean, we already all know that. This is him at the beach on Saturday. He had a great time. He's still recovering from it now. I sometimes forget how old he is. That is not a piece of corn floating in the water. That is his toy. And this right here is an old piling, like from a dock, and Rory loves chewing on it. And the other picture I wanted to show you, the beginning of this school year, Ashton Sikorsky gave me a petunia. Now, these plants are annuals, which mean they're only supposed to live about a year. When he gave it to me, I was like, I'm going to try my best to keep it alive, but I'm not so sure it'll survive until the following spring. And it did. So Ashton, I just want to say thank you again to you and your grandfather, because I think you were cultivating these plants with your granddad, for giving me this petunia, and I wanted to make sure you saw it and everyone else saw it, because it's pretty amazing. An annual that is living far beyond its expected lifespan. Pretty cool. All right, so guys, we're going to change gears and we're going to start studying the Middle East this week, and for the next month. And there's three main topics that we're going to cover, okay? The first is terrorism and conflict. And you can see here's a picture of 9/11, the September 11th attacks, which I'm sure you're all somewhat familiar with. We're going to do an in-depth study of what terrorism is, why we as a country have been targeted in the past. We will look at 9/11 specifically as an act of terrorism, and then we'll examine terrorism in more broad terms too. We're also going to study religion. In the Middle East, three monotheistic religions, three of the world's most widely practiced religions, were all founded. They are Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And we're going to study a little bit about, like, what in general, what do people who practice these religions believe, and what role has religion played in these conflicts that we're looking at. Last but not least, resources. We're going to be studying resources available in the Middle East, both resources that they have in abundance, like oil, and resources that are really scarce, like fresh water. And that's actually where you're going to start today. I want you to consider which resource is more valuable. If you could have an endless supply of either fresh water or oil, which would you choose and why? Now, there is not a right answer to this question. The question is designed to get you thinking about the role that scarcity and value play when determining how important a natural resource is. We did this a little bit when we were discussing economics back in February. I don't know if you can remember that. We were actually in school then. All three of these topics, terrorism, religion, and resources, are all intertwined. And as we get deeper into our study of the Middle East, we're going to see how they are, in fact, intertwined. All right, so here's the workload for today. I posted a discussion question. This is a different type of assignment. I'm going to try to have us do this online discussion, because that's one of the things we do in class, real class, all the time. So there's a question that I posed. Everyone has to answer it. Um, and you know, just a brief explanation why. As long as you give it some effort, you're gonna get a good score. But what I also would like you guys to do is to respond to each other. I set up the question so that you can see other students' responses and you can kind of discuss. You know, you can see how someone answered and say, oh well, I agree with you because, or I disagree with you because. It is not a requirement that you do that. I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable, but if you would like to engage with somebody and have like a little bit of a discussion, the platform is set up that allows you to do that. We're back to virtual map quizzes this week. We're going to be studying Asia as our map quizzes. So I've divided Asia into 4 different regions. This region is called the Middle East. I forget how many countries there are. I want to say 17, maybe. You're going to take a pre-quiz today, do a little bit of practicing. And of course, if you have any missing or revised work, you should get that done. All right, guys, I'm going to see hopefully a few of you tomorrow in our Google Meet. I hope I see all of you at our lunch on Friday. You know, clear your calendars. And I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you have a great Monday.